after seeing that this was literally a problem that every single woman had, and actually a lot of men too wanted a different option, I was like, okay, I'm absolutely starting this. I worked at Coach for a long time. I coached corporate in New York, and in 2009, I had the opportunity to turn around Coach's first store, which was in Europe, at Heathrow Terminal 5 in London. And it was through that experience of managing the store and managing the team and actually speaking with customers every single day that I got to hear their biggest handbag frustrations. It was from hearing that over and over again that I saw that there was a real need in the market for a brand that really nailed the fashion piece, that of course nailed the organization piece, and that was a very compelling value as well.
So when this, light bulb went off for you, where did you take it from there? Like, did you think yes, I need to start a business? Or did you think, oh, these other brands need to fix their bags?
No, I was like, they're not going to do it. Like, there really needs to be a new brand that is made for this generation that really speaks to their values. And this was, 2009, so Bonobos and Bubble Bar and like all these other companies had started to emerge for direct-to-consumer verticals, but no one had done it yet for handbags. And I honestly wasn't totally sold that I was going to go do this immediately, but I had always wanted to start my own business. It was always a part of the plan. And I tabled that idea. I decided to apply to business school and went in actually with a completely different business idea. And it was during that time that I saw my peers doing what I call like the two-bag schlep. So they would go to recruiting events and they'd have like their gym clothes in one bag and they'd have like the professional stuff in the other, and they would try to pull out a resume and chargers and like gum wrappers and everything would fly out too. And these were people who were perfectly put together, from head to toe, with the hair, the makeup, the clothes, the shoes, but their bags were a complete disaster. And a lot of the time also, they were either carrying something that looked like a gym bag or carrying something that was too flashy to be professional. And they knew it, but they didn't know what else to buy to replace it. So after seeing that this was literally a problem that every single woman had, and actually a lot of men too wanted a different option, I was like, okay, I'm absolutely starting this. So one of the first things that was really important was doing adequate market research. Like, we were not going to be like, we know everything and we are just going to create this thing and put it out there and hope that people buy it. We really wanted to make sure that there was product market fit, and so we surveyed and focus grouped 1,000 women and men. We got samples made so that people could have something to base their opinions off of. But it was really backwards engineering based off of that feedback into like, okay, the drop length of the handle needs to be this length, the length of the key strap needs to be this length, and taking all that feedback into consideration, we did pricing studies, we did the basic branding elements as well, and built that into our brand.
Into the brand. And so talk about that a bit more, because I'm always interested just to understand how the brand part comes about, because obviously you had product. Product was going to be handbags, backpacks, other things that can carry all the items that you need. But how did you come up with like the actual Dagne Dover brand and the identity and what it was going to mean?
So it was really important for our brand to be something more than just arm candy, more than just a pretty face, and we felt that the name really needed to reflect that. So Dagne is a Nordic word for new day. This bag is really like there to prep you for whatever the day hits you with, right? It's sort of like, it should be as intuitive as an iPhone. It should have everything that you need. It should be that easy to access your things. And then Dover is Jesse's last name. So it really is like the creative face, is part of the brand name, and Dagne is there for you.
What was that space then from all the research to actually getting to launch? What were some of those things you were doing?
We were running dual paths, in terms of like doing the branding, doing the market research, and connecting with factories and suppliers, and sourcing everything. And it was just hustling all these tiny little pieces to get the samples made and to get a website up and all of that. We launched the brand in 2013 with a pre-sale and said, this is what the bag looks like, this is what it's priced at, these are the colors that it comes in, this is, would you buy it? And people did, which was awesome. It was a lot of our first customers came from that group of 1,000 women and men who we had focus groups, and they were like, you listen to me, like I totally want to try this product. And I think that's something that really resonated with our customer base and resonates with her and him today, is them feeling like they're a part of this journey and a part of this story. So much of what we attribute our early success to was our early social media following, organic social media. This was a time when you could post and people would actually see your posts, and you don't have to pay for everything. And we couldn't pay. I mean, we just couldn't. Every single dollar was going towards making product and proving out this business needed to exist. But really, that's what a lot of people were super drawn to, is we were 3 women and we had handbag problems and we decided to do something about it, and this is made for a generation of us.
So I think one of the things that we often, see or hear are these stories where it sounds like everything just went perfectly. Like, you found the founding team, they were great, you did research, everyone loved the idea, then they wanted to buy it, and then they just, the investors wanted to give you money. Was there any moment at which you were like, what are we doing?
Oh my God.
Is this gonna work?
So, just to be totally fair, that was the Cliff Notes version,
yeah.
so that's why it may sound like that. It certainly wasn't like that at the time. There was no moment where it was like, we're gonna fail, like this is it, like this was a mistake. I think that there are a lot of like foundational things that are really important early on that founders need to do their diligence before they like take anything at face value. Like, yeah, we'll just do that because that's what everyone does. Like, that's actually not true. You should never think that just because everyone does something that it's the right way to do it.
Yeah, and actually I think that perfectly leads into my last question, which was for someone who's at the stage of idea and wanting to start their business, what would you advise them right now to think about?
Yeah, I mean, just following through with that concept. There is no formula for success in a digitally native brand today. What worked for us 2-3 years ago is not necessarily what's going to work for a brand today, and certainly not 2 years from now. So sometimes we go to talks and we speak on panels, and people are like asking us like, who'd you use for PR? Who'd you use for this? And it's like, it's not. This is part of the ecosystem in your head that you should have in mind of like, oh, this could be helpful or that might work, but like you need to figure out which of those points are actually helpful for your business and then focus on them versus just assuming that there's like a sort of formula of you work with this PR agency or you work with this distribution center or you get funded by this type of investor. That's absolutely not true. Like you really need to figure out what specifically will work for you. Well,
I mean, I think what you're doing is working. I've seen the purses, I've seen you guys out a lot everywhere, and so congratulations on the success that you've had, and I just appreciate you sharing your story with us and for everyone who's been watching and is just aspiring to take the same path or their own version of the path. So I would just like to say thank you and a toast to you and Dagne Dover.